I, male 34, got married to my wife Claire 2 years ago. She has a 6-year-old daughter, my stepdaughter, that she shares custody of with her ex-husband Adam. So Adam has not dated anyone ever since he and Claire got separated. Claire always talked about how this was a good thing, because she believes that my stepdaughter is better off without a witch stepmom to boss her around and abuse her. Then Adam started seeing his now-girlfriend about 8 months ago. Claire wasn't happy about it. In fact, she was livid that Adam introduced my stepdaughter to his girlfriend so soon. Claire demanded meetings with Adam's girlfriend to test and see what kind of stepmom she will be for my stepdaughter. I didn't give it much attention because of the drama and always having mother-in-law involved as well. However, I very recently found out that Claire installed several cameras in Adam's house while he and his girlfriend were away on a trip. Claire had the key to Adam's house because most of my stepdaughter's stuff is there. Keep in mind, I found out by looking at the chat Claire had with my mother-in-law, so she was in on it too. It irked me because that is a total breach of privacy. But when I confronted Claire, she said she did this because Adam's girlfriend was going to move in soon, and she wanted to see how she treats my stepdaughter. I told her this was wrong, and she said it was all temporary till Adam's girlfriend was in the clear. I still wasn't convinced and suggested she remove the cameras because of the huge legal troubles once Adam finds out. But she lost her temper on me, saying I should stay out of it because I clearly don't care about my stepdaughter's well-being and happiness. But she had no evidence or even reason to believe Adam's girlfriend might mistreat my stepdaughter. Claire said she just wants to double-check, and Adam does not need to know. But I disagreed and said that I will tell him if she won't remove the cameras, which made her lose it on me and get mother-in-law to shut me down and get me to stay in my lane. But I couldn't. Claire said if I tell Adam, then we're gonna have a problem, and urged me to mind my own business because Adam isn't more important than my relationship with her. So I shouldn't even entertain the idea of telling him and upsetting Claire, who is just trying to make sure her daughter's future stepmom isn't some witch stepmom in the making. I still want to tell him, but given Claire's reaction, I'm going to get hell for this, and it may not be worth it since me and Adam aren't on good terms. Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. This is beyond crazy, and quite frankly, disturbing. If I were you, I would take a long hard look at your wife and ask yourself if she's really over the ex. The fact she celebrated him not having a relationship and moving on, and how she reacted when the girlfriend came into the picture. Worst case scenario, she's not over her ex. Best case scenario, she is a control freak with no boundaries. Lots of red flags here. You should be very concerned. Not the a-hole. What Claire has done is illegal to the point of a prison sentence. I worked with someone who put a tracker in his then-wife's car and confirmed she was having an affair because of it. Because he did it secretly, she took him to court and he was prosecuted for stalking and surveillance charges, and only just avoided prison, but paid massive fines and was denied visitation of their children for a while. Claire has made it worse by illegally entering a home she has no right to, breaking and entering, trespassing, and installed cameras, not just trackers. If Adam finds them, she will be in so much trouble. Prison trouble. Losing all custody of stepdaughter trouble. You should absolutely tell Adam, immediately. He has a right to privacy and safety. For him and his family, and your wife's jealousy is no excuse for her illegal and disturbing behavior. And that's what this is, jealousy, masquerading as protectiveness for her daughter. And now that you are aware, if you don't report it to Adam or the police, you are an accomplice. You need to strongly reconsider your marriage. This woman is dangerous. Update. I have decided to tell him. There is no way this is going to end well for Claire, no matter how hard she tries to downplay the situation. Yeah, I'm a coward, but that is her opinion. I told her that I was not going to get caught in the middle of this whirlpool, but she insisted I was the one trying to get involved, still ignoring how messed up her actions were. She can go ahead and turn every argument into a screaming match, where I'm the one to blame, but I'm getting sick of it. I, 19 male, work in a small office. In November, a few of my coworkers organized a secret Santa gift exchange for Christmas. It was optional, but most people joined in, so I did too. Though I do not celebrate Christmas, I am ex-Christian. But I still celebrate the holiday season, and I thought it would be fun. One of the people who organized it is a woman I'll call Jen, female in her 50s. She is a devout Christian. I know because she had a lot of religious items on her desk, and she's always saying religious stuff and talking about church. Soon after we all picked names for Secret Santa, she approached me and said that she was glad that I joined in because it's nice to see young people getting involved in the spirit of Christmas. Then she asked if I would be going to Mass for Christmas, and I said no. She asked why, and I told her that I'm actually ex-Christian, so I don't go to church. I don't think I was rude about it, but she started acting weird and said that I shouldn't have joined Secret Santa because I was profiting off other people's generosity in the celebration of Christ's birth. I don't know what to say, so I said that I would be getting someone a gift too, of course, and I couldn't back out now because the one person wouldn't get anything. She said she would pray for me and left, and we didn't really interact after that. A few days before Christmas, we all were supposed to exchange our gifts. I gave the person I picked their gift, and then I was waiting to receive mine. I didn't know who picked me, of course, but eventually it seemed like everyone had gotten their gifts except me. Then Jan came over and said she was the one who picked my name. But since I didn't believe in Christmas, there was no reason for her to get me a gift in celebration of it. I was honestly shocked, but she left before I could say anything. It did bother me a bit, but I decided to let it go because I didn't want any drama. Later, I was talking to another coworker, Amy, 22 female. She asked me what I got, so I told her what happened with Jen. Amy said I should tell our superior about it, because Jen has said similar things to a coworker of ours who is Muslim. I told her I didn't want to make a big deal out of the Secret Santa thing, and I thought we left it at that. But after the holidays, our superior, Mark, male in his 50s, called me into his office and asked about what happened with Jen during the gift exchange. I didn't want to lie to a supervisor, so I told him what she said, but also that it wasn't a big deal to me. It was just a present. He thanked me and said not to worry, but that this was connected to a greater trend in Jen's behavior, and he would have to take action. Yesterday, I noticed Jen's desk was cleared out. I asked Amy about it, and she said Jen had been fired. I feel bad because I didn't care about getting a present that much, and I don't think it's something that warrants getting someone fired. I told my friend Sam, male 19, about it, and he said I shouldn't have told Mark what Jen said because it was just a dumb disagreement between us. So, I don't know. Am I the a-hole? Now the top comments. Not the a-hole. You didn't get your coworker fired. Your coworker got herself fired for trying to stick her personal beliefs where they don't belong and showing blatant prejudice towards other people in the office. Telling Mark the truth about what happened landed your work environment and coworkers in a less toxic place. Your friend Sam should take note. His way of handling things irks me and is probably how people like Jen was able to get to the point of openly and comfortably acting like an a-hole at work to begin with. Not the a-hole. This is about so much more than the present. Her being fired isn't your fault. It's Jen's fault for discriminating against her coworkers. The present is just one part of a larger problem with Jen's behavior. I'm sure that there are other incidents with other people in your company beyond yourself and the Muslim coworker. Her behavior is unacceptable in a professional environment. I, 29 female, have a 9-year-old daughter, Claire, with my ex-husband, Brian. Brian has Claire Wednesday through Saturday, and I have her Sunday through Tuesday. When we were together, shortly after Claire was born, Brian got a dog. This dog was not young then, 6 or 7, and now must be ancient. Claire loves this dog, and I've tried to indulge that as much as possible, and the days I have her, Brian will let Claire video call with him and the dog, which I think is a bit extreme, but to each their own. Brian contacted me this morning saying that he had to put the dog down tomorrow and asked if he could pick up Claire a day early so she could say goodbye. I told him I didn't want to do that and didn't think it was a good idea to go against court-ordered custody. And since he wouldn't watch her when I had a work emergency, I didn't see why this was different. He said I was being overly dramatic and petty and cruel to not let Claire see her dog. I don't think I'm wrong, because we've already set the standard that we're sticking to the court-ordered custody. But he sent me several texts saying that I should let Claire be there, and even told her what was going on, which, in my opinion, was overstepping. And I don't think it's right for him to contact her behind my back about something involving our co-parenting. Claire is also upset at me now, and I'm wondering if I'm being an a-hole now that she knows. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to let him pick her up a day earlier than usual? Now the top comments. You are the a-hole. You should bring her to say goodbye to the dog if you don't want to blur the custody order. The important thing here is that your 9-year-old should be given the opportunity to say goodbye to a beloved pet and process her grief. Maintaining a custody order with your ex should not stop you from prioritizing what is in your child's best interests. You are way too focused on not giving time to your ex and ignoring the impacts here for your child. The difference between this and your work emergency is that it will have a major emotional impact on your child. You're the a-hole. This is not about you or the ex. It is about your daughter. Let her see the dog. Sometimes there are emergencies and unplanned life events. This is one of them. Get her to see the dog immediately. You are being cruel here. He is not trying to invade on your time. He's trying to do the best for Claire and allowing her to grieve. She's known this dog for all her life. You are still a team, and treating this so strictly if there is your daughter's emotional well-being at stake, yes, you are being cruel and unreasonable. Your daughter being upset at you should tell you enough. Other parents would be elated to see their ex-partner trying to be so proactive and caring for their children's well-being. At this point, you just seem spiteful. As a co-parent, always ask who you are doing this for. Right now, you are not doing this for your child. Update. Thank you to everyone who replied. I thought about it some more and read some of the replies, and I realized I was being short-sighted and taking out my frustration from the past in a way that would only negatively affect my daughter. I've talked to Brian and we've made the agreement that he will pick her up tomorrow to say goodbye and drop her off a day early. I teach 7th grade at a Catholic school. I don't teach all their classes, but I do teach math, religion, English, and social studies to my class. I have this student I'll call Chrissy. She is a handful. She is a smart girl and usually does well on tests, but she is extremely dramatic. I have been having a lot of issues with her when it comes to late assignments. I do accept late homework, but 10% is taken off each day late until they fail the assignment. Obviously, there are certain circumstances that students can turn in late assignments without penalty. Chrissy has been turning in assignments late all year and going on some sob story about why she couldn't get it done in time. I have been giving her full credit, but every time my patience is getting thinner. It's her grandma is sick, so she was visiting in the hospital. Her dog ran away and she was out all day looking. Her uncle is sick in the hospital. Her mom got stuck at work, so she had to spend all day babysitting her siblings. Her dad got mad at her, which sparked an anxiety attack, and she couldn't do the homework. You get the picture. These are all excuses she's used. There's even more. I feel bad as I think she's getting a lot more leeway than the other students. Today we had a pop quiz on a reading assignment from last week. This is a normal thing we do on Mondays to test who read last week. After the quiz, Chrissy came up to my desk as the rest of the kids head to another class. So the grandma of her best friend growing up passed away. She was having a very tough time, so Chrissy basically spent the entire week with her after school and just couldn't get the reading done. She admitted to probably flunking the pop quiz and wanted to retake it later in the week. I looked at Chrissy, sighed, and just said, "Chrissy, I don't care. You do this all the time. It's not fair to the other students. You have to find a way to get your work done. The excuses are not going to work anymore. She started to tear up and plead with me. I told her if she is really having these serious issues so frequently, we can have her parents come in for a meeting to figure out what we can do. She insisted that wasn't necessary and she can't get her parents involved. I told her that's her only option. Either she gets the work on time done or we sit down with her parents. She left the room while yelling that people like me are the reason her generation has so many mental health problems, because we don't understand their struggle. Now the top comments. You're the a-hole. I also teach 7th grade and you 100% crossed a line. You should have seen warning signs left, right, and center weeks ago if this was a constant issue. Those parents should have been contacted and brought in weeks ago. You should have reported a possible issue to the school counselor/psychologist so she can get some support. You are the adult and control the situation. You are meant to provide support and help. One of the very first things we learn as a teacher is that the home environment can negatively affect behaviors and classroom performance. I understand, the profession is exhausting and we have loads dumped on us. But that is no excuse to dismiss a student and expect them to have all the solutions. If you are burnt out, then contact those I suggested above for some support. Teacher here as well. I would have called home when she gave the first excuse for a well-being check. This way you can confirm whether or not something happened, keep the parents in the loop, and guide them in the requirements of the school and helping Chrissy manage her time in an effective manner. This will also help when it comes to report cards, because you don't want parents asking why she failed, only for them to ask why they weren't notified when she wasn't completing assignments.